Pep Guardiola, successor theory emerges over Manchester City exit clause. Vincent Kompany has signed a new contract with Bayern Munich until 2029, with the club keen to fend off interest from Manchester City. When Pep Guardiola leaves, Vincent Kompany was handed a fresh Bayern Munich contract to fend off any potential interest in the manager from Manchester City when Pep Guardiola eventually departs the club, according to former Germany midfielder Dietmar Hamann. Kompany recently signed a deal that keeps him at the club until 2029, despite having 2 years left on his previous agreement. The City legend was brought in by the Bundesliga powerhouses in May 2024 and secured the title in his debut campaign with the club. The Belgians team are leading the way once more this term and boast a flawless record following 7 fixtures, with Kompany's reputation now reaching new heights after beginning his managerial journey with Anderlecht and Burnley. City manager Guardiola penned an extension at the Etihad in November 2024 and remains tied to the club until 2027. Their previously aligned contract end dates could have offered Kompany the ideal opportunity to return to the club, where he won 4 Premier League titles as a player. Therefore, whilst Kompany's agreement might serve as recognition for an encouraging period, former City, Liverpool and Newcastle midfielder Hamann believes Bayern are safeguarding their asset, though the pundit isn't dismissing the chance of a clause that would enable Kompany to become Guardiola's replacement. FC Bayern extended Kompany's contract until 2029, even though he still had 20 months left on his contract. I mean, the extension wasn't a must, but I understand why they did it, Hamann told Sky Germany. Bayern probably have in mind that Manchester City will be interested in Kompany at some point when Pep Guardiola retires. It would be interesting to know if Kompany has a clause in his contract. Christoph Freund didn't reveal anything about that on Wednesday evening, but he didn't completely deny it either. Kompany wasn't bothered about when fresh terms were put forward. The 39-year-old was solely focused on preventing any disruptions throughout the campaign. I didn't really think about the timing. I was too busy preparing for the games, he said. Then the proposal came up, and my only request was that it doesn't become a big topic and that we could quickly refocus on the next game. It probably surprised you journalists more than me. It was important to me that there were no big discussions, no speculation, just a quick and clear answer. Club president Herbert Hainer described the agreement as a resounding endorsement of their boss. The contract extension with Vincent Kompany is a strong vote of confidence from the club after the great job he's done up to now, as well as a clear sign for continuity and stability at Bayern, he said. Vincent is held in high regard by the players, the club management and the fans. We're happy about the early extension of our cooperation. Never sounds good. Manchester City face fresh questions over North Stand changes. Manchester City have announced more flexi-season tickets, but are also relocating hundreds of fans in the lower tier of the North Stand. It never sounds good. Whatever bones are thrown, no matter the compromises offered up, turfing out regular match-going fans in order to slap a hospitality section literally front and centre of a stand will never be well received. For the hundreds of Manchester City fans who are facing relocation from behind the goal of the North Stand to make way for City Hall, there is also the unpleasant element of surprise. Everybody knew that there would be some hospitality in the expanded North Stand, but nobody expected that fans who already have their seats would have to make way for a new corporate section at the bottom of the stand as well. It is unclear exactly how the new section will affect the makeup of the stand, but it is hard to think a space for 500 people that will also serve as a venue to be used on non-match days will not disrupt the look of the stand. Given it is immediately behind a goal, the difference could be as visible as when Jack Grealish celebrated in front of thousands of empty seats back in April, as supporters protested about the club's relationship with third-party ticketing companies. It is a blessing in disguise that the cameras at the Etihad never really pan across the lower section of the Colin Bell stand, because it avoids journalists being broadcast across TVs up and down the nation, but directly in front of the press box now resides the Tunnel Club. That was a painful relocation for many supporters from behind the dugouts in order for the club to increase matchday revenue, and there would be some wincing every match if everyone could see how empty the seats are for the first 5 or 10 minutes of every half. More than how it looks and how it sounds, though, City have to recognise how supporters feel about this latest change. They are never going to agree on everything, and the club did listen to supporter frustration last year, both in freezing season ticket prices and reducing matchday prices. There have been attempts to crack down on non-Blues getting tickets, even if support for the methods has not been universal. And more than 4,000 flexi-season tickets announced, helped by the top tier of the new North Stand, is more positive than it could have been. If regular matchgoers are not feeling any more of their pennies being pinched, other money-making exercises feel necessary if City are to continue in the rat race for high revenues and maintain a big budget that covers the signing and keeping of some of the best players in the world. There's an argument to be made for them not getting in such an unpleasant race, but that's for another piece. Something has to give somewhere. However, given the ongoing battle between revenue and atmosphere, the reality that it is hard to make jumps in matchday revenue and the investment City have made to make money from their campus all year round, there will be questions again over how necessary this is and whether it will have a detrimental impact on the team, at a cost to revenue. Fundamentally, it is about trust, and whether supporters still feel the club are making the right decisions for the fan base and the most loyal fans who devote large chunks of their lives and incomes to turning up to help their team try to win matches every week. It cannot be compared to buying tickets for a concert because of the regularity of games and the fact that the team needs the fans to turn up to increase their chances of winning. That relationship of trust between the fans and the club is the foundation of the success and sustainability of this club, said Chairman Khaldoon Al-Mubarak in summer, as he went further than he needed to reassure supporters that the club was not moving away from them. Quiet gestures, such as the support given to Martin Bradshaw this week after the devastating loss of his son in Spain before the Villarreal game, shows that the club can be there for any fans who need help, providing a community service without seeking attention or praise for it. They were also rightly praised in the summer for their decisions over tickets. Manchester City missing 3 players for Aston Villa game as Nico Gonzalez injury update emerges. Manchester City head to Villa Park missing a number of players as they look to improve on recent performances. There, Manchester City will not welcome any injured players back to their squad to face Aston Villa as doubts remain over Nico Gonzalez. Gonzalez was taken off in the 2-0 win over Villarreal in midweek with a foot injury after he couldn't shake off the impact of a foul by Thomas Partey. The 23-year-old did not look in too much discomfort as he left the stadium, but still requires checks over the next days to determine his fitness. That injury is more problematic for City because Rodri is missing with the hamstring issue he suffered at Brentford. Rodri had hoped to return in time for the Everton game, but Villa will be the 3rd game he misses with the problem, with no date put on his return. Pep Guardiola said on Friday that Ryan Ait-Nouri and Abdulkader Kusanov will also remain sidelined. The pair have both missed over a month with injuries they picked up for City. Ait-Nouri has returned to training, but Kusanov is still not. City's manager said that Kusanov was close, but like Ait-Nouri and Rodri, he will not be travelling to Villa Park. Guardiola is hopeful, though, that City can put up a better show in the Midlands this season after a defeat last year. That was one of the low points of their slump amid an injury crisis. They were much better than us the last 2 fixtures we played at Villa Park. Hopefully it will be different on Sunday, he said. The admiration I have for Unai is so high. He's incredibly consistent, well prepared, and so smart. At Aston Villa, I know they are not in the Champions League this season for 1 point. Last season for me, they were Champions League quality. They created a lot of problems for the champions PSG. They are well organised, quality, one of the toughest away games we have in the season. Defensively, they are really good, from set pieces also, and I have the feeling he improved a lot in terms of the build-up. With the keeper they have, it is so difficult to control the pressing, and they bring a lot of players in the middle. The connection between them is really good. They break the lines with the strikers, and when that happens, they are so quick, attacking quick with the speed they have up front. The physicality is really good. Pre-season is over. The season, sometimes you start slowly in terms of results, but they have done a lot in the Premier League that has been really good. Manchester City team news and injury latest versus Aston Villa. Manchester City face Aston Villa in the Premier League this weekend as they look to make it 10 games unbeaten in all competitions. The Blues beat Villarreal in the Champions League on Tuesday night. The 2-0 win saw Erling Haaland continue his prolific form, while Bernardo Silva was also on target. The only downside for City was Nico Gonzalez being forced off injured in the second half. Guardiola will provide an update on the midfielder as well, the latest on the fitness of Rodri and Abdulkader Kusanov this afternoon. A win for City this weekend would see them stretch their unbeaten run in all competitions to 10 games and keep the pressure on league leaders Arsenal. Matheus Nunes might have looked on enviously at Rico Lewis on Tuesday night. A midfielder forced into a right-back role finally unleashed back in his favoured position. It says plenty about both players that when the team sheet dropped at Estadio de la Ceramica, there was never any doubt it was going to be Nunes at right-back and Lewis in midfield. Nunes might have been signed as a £53 million midfielder, but Pep Guardiola has long since abandoned any attempts to find a role for him there. Of his 81 appearances, only 27 have come in a central midfield role, and it's nearly a year since he started a game centrally in the chaotic Champions League draw with Feyenoord at the Etihad. After last season's Manchester derby at Old Trafford, Guardiola said Nunes lacked the physicality to play in midfield. And although he referred to him as a midfield player last month, it was only in the sense of what he can bring in attacking areas. City's unbeaten run now stands at 9 in all competitions following their 2-0 win over Everton last weekend and then victory at Villarreal in the Champions League in midweek. Those results mean City have 7 points from 9.